You signed your dog up for a 6-week obedience class. The trainer told you it would fix the pulling, the jumping, the barking at the door. 6 weeks passed. Your dog improved a little, not enough. The trainer smiled and said the words you will hear in every dog training facility in America. He is not quite ready yet. Let's move him into the next level. So you signed up for level 2, then advanced, then a refresher course because he regressed over the holidays, then a reactivity workshop because he still barks at other dogs, then a monthly maintenance membership because, and this is a direct quote from the industry, training never ends. You have now spent $2,000 over 8 months. Your dog still pulls on the leash, and the trainer is suggesting agility classes. This is not bad luck. This is a business model, and it is running in every training franchise, every group class facility, and an alarming number of private practices across the country. The U.S. pet services industry, which includes training, grooming, and boarding, generates over $150 billion a year. Dog training is one of its fastest growing segments, driven by franchise expansion, subscription pricing, and a new generation of owners who treat training like a gym membership, something you keep paying for, not something you finish. The money is real. The system behind it is engineered. And here is the foundation that makes all of it possible. The dog training industry in the United States has no licensing requirements. None. Not in a single state. Your hairdresser needs a license. Your plumber needs a license. The person you are trusting to shape your dog's behavior and your relationship with your dog does not need to pass a single test, hold a single credential, or demonstrate a single hour of experience. Anyone can call themselves a professional dog trainer tomorrow morning. Anyone can call themselves a certified behaviorist without a single hour of training. There is no law preventing it. That regulatory void is the foundation of everything that follows, because when there is no standard for who can train, there is also no standard for when training is done. And an industry with no finish line is an industry with infinite revenue. To understand how the system works, you have to follow the money. The dog training industry is no longer a collection of independent trainers working out of their backyards. It is a franchise-driven, investor-backed sector with corporate infrastructure designed for recurring revenue. Zoom Room, a training franchise that now operates over 60 locations across 22 states, was built on the same model as a yoga studio. Clients buy class packs or monthly memberships. They come back every week, not because the dog needs more training, but because the experience is designed to be social, fun, and habitual. The company's own data shows that each customer spends an average of $679 within the first 8 weeks. That is not a training program. That is a subscription product. Dog Training Elite, another national franchise, charges thousands of dollars per dog for board and train programs. Bark Busters offers a lifetime support guarantee, which sounds generous until you realize it is engineered to keep the client relationship open indefinitely. The industry's own business literature says the quiet part out loud. Training publications teach trainers to build progressive class structures that move clients from puppy kindergarten to basic obedience to advanced skills to agility to enrichment workshops. Each level is a new revenue event. Alumni programs, refresher courses, and subscription-based coaching models are openly promoted as strategies to increase customer lifetime value. The goal is not a trained dog. The goal is a retained client. So here it is, the obedience school loophole. 5 mechanisms the training industry uses to keep you paying long after your dog should have graduated. Mechanism 1, the missing finish line. There is no industry standard definition of a trained dog. No objective test, no behavioral benchmark, no graduation criteria that the trainer is accountable to. The trainer decides when your dog is ready, and the trainer's income depends on your dog never being ready. Compare this to a driving school. You take lessons, you pass a test, you get a license. Dog training has no test and no license. The course ends when the money stops. Mechanism 2, the level ladder. The product architecture is designed as a staircase you are never meant to step off. Puppy class leads to level 1. Level 1 leads to level 2. Level 2 leads to advanced. Advanced leads to a specialty workshop. Each step is a separate fee. The content overlap between levels is rarely disclosed. In many cases, level 2 is level 1 in a harder environment, not a fundamentally different curriculum. The structure exists to create the next purchase, not the next skill. Mechanism 3, the regression trigger. This is about language, not structure. Dogs are not computers. They do not retain every command in every context forever. Trainers know this, and the honest ones will tell you that some regression is normal and manageable at home with 5 minutes of practice. But in the recurring revenue model, regression is not a normal phase to coach you through. It is a sales trigger. Your dog forgot to sit-stay at the park? That is not a quick refresher. That is a $200 reactivity workshop. Mechanism 4, the certification fog. The CPDT-KA, issued by the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers, requires 300 hours of hands-on experience and a comprehensive exam. It is a real credential with independent oversight. But here's the problem. The certificate from Joe Bob's online dog training academy requires a credit card and an internet connection. Both trainers can legally call themselves certified. Both can charge the same rate. And the average dog owner has no way to tell the difference because the profession has no licensing body, no public registry requirement, and no legal standard for what certified means. Mechanism 5, the emotional lock-in. This is the most powerful mechanism and the hardest to see. Over weeks and months of classes, you build a relationship with the trainer. They know your dog's name. They remember his triggers. They celebrate his progress. Walking away feels like abandoning a partnership. That emotional bond is real, but it is also the mechanism that keeps the subscription running long after the training value has peaked. The industry calls it client retention. A more honest term is dependency. That is the obedience school loophole. 5 mechanisms, 1 outcome. A training relationship that never reaches a defined endpoint. In an industry with no standard for what done looks like. And before we go further, good trainers exist. Trainers who set clear goals, define a graduation point, teach the owner to maintain the training independently, and let the client leave when the job is done. Those trainers are not running the loophole. They are working against it. The problem is not every individual trainer. The problem is a system with no licensing, no accountability, and a financial incentive to never say the words, "Your dog is ready." Here is what informed dog owners are doing instead. They are using what we call the exit test. 4 questions that tell you whether your training program has a finish line or a billing cycle. Question 1. What specific behaviors will my dog be able to perform at the end of this program? Not better manners, not improved obedience. Specific, observable, testable behaviors. Sit on command in a distracting environment. Walk on a loose leash past another dog. Stay in place for 60 seconds. If the trainer cannot list concrete outcomes before you pay, there is no program. There is only a subscription. Question 2. How will I know when training is complete? A legitimate program has a defined endpoint. A recurring revenue program does not. If the answer is something like, training is a lifelong journey, you are not buying a program. You are buying access. Question 3. What will you teach me to do at home between sessions? The goal of any honest training program is to make the trainer unnecessary. If every session requires the trainer's presence and the owner is never given the tools to practice independently, the program is designed for dependency, not competency. Question 4. What are your credentials, and can I verify them independently? The Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers maintains a public directory. Look up the trainer before you book. If their credentials are not independently verifiable, you are trusting an unregulated stranger with your dog's behavioral development. 4 questions. Ask them before the first session. The trainers doing real work will answer every one without hesitation. The ones running the loophole will change the subject. Here is the bottom line. Your dog does not need a lifetime training subscription. Most behavioral goals, loose leash walking, reliable recall, calm greetings, basic impulse control, can be achieved in 6 to 12 weeks of structured work with a qualified trainer, followed by consistent owner practice at home. That is not an opinion. The American Kennel Club's Canine Good Citizen Test, the closest thing the US has to a standardized behavioral benchmark, evaluates 10 specific skills that a well-trained dog should demonstrate. 10 skills, not a lifetime curriculum. 10 skills that a competent trainer can teach in a defined time frame. The training industry did not build a multi-billion-dollar franchise sector by solving those problems in 12 weeks. They built it by designing systems that never let you leave. The word certified in dog training has no legal weight. The word behaviorist has no legal protection. The phrase training never ends is not a philosophy. It is a revenue model. You now have the obedience school loophole. You know the 5 mechanisms. You have the exit test. And you know that the most important question you can ask any trainer is not, what will you teach my dog? It is, when will you be done? The training industry is one piece of a much larger picture. The same playbook, unregulated titles, recurring billing, no defined endpoint, is running through every part of the pet industry. In our next investigation, we are pulling apart the pet insurance market and showing you why so many claims get denied and what the fine print is designed to hide. If you want to see what they do not want you to see, subscribe. You will want this one.